is narrated in the 7th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Hiranyakashipu became very powerful by material achievements, and though himself to be immortal by the grace of Brahmaji, and thought himself to be immortal by the grace of Brahmaji. Brahmaji declined to award him the benediction of immortality because he himself is not an immortal being. But Hiranyakashipu derived Brahmaji's benediction in a roundabout way, almost equal to becoming an immortal being. Hiranyakashipu was sure that he would not be killed by any man or demigod or by any kind of known weapon, nor would he die during the day or night. The Lord, however, assumed the incarnation of half man and half lion, which was beyond the imagination of a materialistic demon like Hiranyakashipu, and thus, keeping a pace with the benediction of Brahmaji, the Lord killed him. He killed him on his lap, so that he was killed neither on the land nor on the water nor in the sky. The demon was pierced by Narasimha's nails, which were beyond the human weapons imaginable by Hiranyakashipu. The literal meaning of Hiranyakashipu is one who is after gold and a soft bedding, the ultimate aim of all materialistic man. Such a demonic man who have no relationship with God gradually become puffed up by materialistic acquisitions and begin to challenge the authority of the Supreme Lord and to torture those who are devotees of the Lord. Prahlad Maharaj happened to be the son of Hiranyakashipu, and because the boy was a great devotee, his father tortured him to the best of his ability. In this extreme situation, the Lord assumed the incarnation of the Narasimha, and just to finish the enemy of the demigods, the Lord killed Hiranyakashipu in a manner beyond the demon's imagination. Materialistic plans of godless demons are always frustrated by the all-powerful Lord. Trai Pishtapuru Bhayahasa Narasimharupam Pritva Brahmat Bhurkutti Dhamshtakarala Vaktram Daidyandram Ashu Garaya Vipatantamara Urao Nipatya Vidadharanakai Spurantam. The personality of God had assumed the incarnation of Narasimha in order to vanquish the great fears of the demigods. He killed the king of the demons, Hiranyakashipu, who challenged the Lord with a club in his hand by placing the demon on his thighs and piercing him with his nails, rolling his eyebrows in anger and showing his fearful teeth and mouth. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshkaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivaibhava Swami Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyayade Shakaya Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivas Adi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So we are eternally grateful to our founder Acharya A.C. His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivaibhava Swami Prabhupada, that he spread this Krishna consciousness movement all over the world, so that even here, at this very remote place, we have the opportunity of associating with so many wonderful Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Namaste Narasimhaya Aladadadaine Hiranyakashipu Vakshahat Shiratangalatare Ito Nisimha Adato Nisimha Yato Yami Tato Nisimha Vahir Nisimha Hridaye Nisimha Nisimhamarin Sharanam Bhattare. I offer my obeisances to Lord Narasimha, who gives the joy to Prahlad Maharaj, and whose nails are like chisels on the stone-like chest of the demon Hiranyakashipu. Lord Narasimha is here and also there. Wherever I go, Lord Narasimha is there. He is in the heart and outside as well. I surrender to Lord Narasimha, the origin of all things and the supreme refuge. Tavakara kammala varena kammadhuta shingham dalita hiranyakashipu tarumringam keshavadya narahari rupa jaya jagadisha hare jaya jagadisha hare jaya jagadisha hare. O my Lord, your hands are very beautiful, like the lotus flower, but with your long nails you have ripped apart the wasp, Hiranyakashipu. And to you, Lord of the universe, I offer my humble obeisances. It's a tanu. Tanu, in that particular verse, tanu means small, insignificant. And bringa, it is here translated as wasp. Bringa also means these are big black bumblebees. And sometimes you see, it happens in the summertime, some big round black bumblebee. And when they fly towards you, you go, you show some respect. But for Lord Narasimha, Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, with that extremely powerful Hiranyakashipu, Asura, the king of the demons, in comparison he was just like a small, insignificant bumblebee. Krishna is through Bhagavan Swayam. Krishna is the Supreme Lord, the original Lord. This is from one purport from the first canto. Srila Prabhupada, he writes that Prahlad Maharaj is our Guru and the Lord Krishna is our worshipable God. As advised by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Guru Krishna Prasadi Pai Bhakti Lata Bij. If we can be successful in getting the mercy of Prahlad Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada writes, and also that of Lord Narasimha, then our Krishna consciousness movement will be extremely successful. Hare Krishna. Yes. According to the Prabhupada Lilamrita, our Srila Prabhupada established the chanting of the Narasimha Pranati, the prayers to Lord Narasimha, after he had what appeared to be like a heart attack. And in that Prabhupada Lilamrita it is written, I quote, devotees entered the front room of the apartment, and the Srila Prabhupada told them to chant Hare Krishna. Then he told them to pray to Krishna in his form of Narasimha. Swamiji said, we should pray to Lord Narasimha, and the prayer should be, my master has not finished his work. He taught us the prayers to Lord Narasimha. He said the words one by one, and then we wrote them down. I called up the temples in San Francisco and in Montreal and told them the prayer. Then Swamiji said, you should pray to Krishna that my spiritual master has not yet completed his work, so please let him finish. So the mantra Srila Prabhupada instituted in his society, in his ISKCON society, at that time, is the Narasimha Pranati, that also Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself uttered in Jagannath Puri. After seeing the deity, it's another quotation, after seeing the deity of Lord Narasimha in the temple, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu offered his respectful obeisances by falling flat. Then, in ecstatic love, he performed various dances, chanted, and offered prayers. It is also mentioned that in the Vrindavan Leela, the inhabitants of Vrindavan, they worshipped Lord Narasimha, as well as Lord Narayana, and in his other avatars as well, simply for the protection of Lord Krishna. We also heard from Bhaktivaibhava Swami in detail that this entire material existence is a place where people are full of fear. He described it so nicely in different ways, how factually everyone is afraid, either constantly or sometimes of something. Always full of fear. Kunta. This material existence is described as Kunta. It's a place full of anxiety, full of fear. But there's another place, Vaikuntha. The Vai means without, there's no. No fear, no anxiety. And this is where all the living entities in this material world came from. It's our eternal home. That place which is always free from any fear, any anxiety. And hardly to imagine in this material world such a place. But it exists. It is waiting for all of us to return to that eternal abode of Lord Krishna, Vaikuntha. Padam padam yatpi padam natesham. It is described that in this material world at every step there's danger. Something might happen, we don't know. If we leave our home, our house, we step on the street, we don't know what will happen. Just some time ago, one of our God brothers, Srila Prabhupada disciple, in Berlin, he was walking some years ago, he was walking on the street, and a car just went off the street, hit him, and he left his body, left his world. Anything can happen. But for the devotees, this place is not really param param yatvi param natesham. For us devotees, it is Padam Padam Yat Srimad Bhagavatam. At every step you see Srimad Bhagavatam right in front of us. Whatever is going on, whatever is happening, either with us, someone else, or the entire world, society, so many things are going, and it's all described in Srimad Bhagavatam. Everything is there. It's just unfolding in front of our eyes, constantly. And the Srimad Bhagavatam is not just describing this material existence, material society. It is not just merely describing the various sufferings of material life, but it gives a solution. That's the difference. A little late, huh? Thank you very much. See, now I got distracted. Now I think about the garland now. Why he came so late. Krishna, help. What was my point? Srimad Bhagavatam. Right in front of all. Srimad Bhagavatam. Yes. Samashitayi Padapala Pravam Mahatpadam Punda Yasho Murare. A beautiful verse. Pavambudiya Vatsapadam Param 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 Yatvi Param Natesham. There is described, but the solution is given. Samashita means to take a shelter at Lord Krishna's lotus feet. They are being described here in this verse as a very, very strong and stout boat which can carry the conditioned soul over the ocean of material existence, because that gigantic ocean of material existence, it shrinks to the size of the water collecting in the print of a what's the English word? Hoof. That's hoof print, hoof of a calf. So small. The whole material existence is shrinking. You can easily jump over. That's the solution. The story of just one in between question. How long shall I go? I need some idea.
9:15. 9:15.
9:15. But I don't have any watch.
20 before 9.
No, I need a watch here that I can check it. So till 9:15. Thank you. The story of Prahlad Maharaj and Hiranyakashipu, it is eternally relevant. There's always a struggle between the suras and the asuras. Sura means like godly persons, godly beings, and asura, means just the opposite. Sometimes Srila Prabhupada also used the term civilized and uncivilized. Civilized beings, uncivilized beings. That's history. There's always a clash between the demonic and the godly. The persons of a godly nature, by nature, they have full faith in the existence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The asuras, by nature, they have no faith. That's the difference. And accordingly, society begins to manifest, function, works accordingly. And that's the clash, the real clash in society. There's so many other clashes, but that's the main one. Dvao bhuta sargo lokeyasmin daiva asura evacha. Srimad Bhagavatam clearly describes that there are two types of created beings in this world, the divine and the demonic. In the Brihad Aranyak Upanishad, it is also confirmed, Dvayaha Prajapatya Devas Shasurascha. The Deva and the Asura, these two were produced by Lord Brahma. Even among those who are religious, who have some kind of faith, we find so many different categories of belief systems. Monotheism, polytheism, henotheism, katinotheism, so many different isms. And even in monotheism, there are so many different concepts of God, mostly impersonal by nature. History has shown that there are always clashes between the two. Even Krishna himself, he was harassed by so many asuras sent by Hiranyakashipu on a daily basis. Another one. Then how can we complain if we are being harassed? It's natural. As soon as someone that practices sincerely Krishna consciousness, then he has to expect some harassment, some difficulties, cannot be avoided. This is why the story of Prahlad Maharaj and Hiranyakashipu is so important for us. And what to do if I'm being harassed, if I have to undergo so many tribulations in my practice of Krishna consciousness, then how should I behave? How should I react to it? And here we have the prime example of Prahlad Maharaj. This is why Srila Prabhupada mentioned in that purport in the beginning that Prahlad Maharaj, he is our guru, he is our example, prime example, in how to practice tolerance. To those who know how to practice tolerance, they will survive in Krishna consciousness, they will go on, carry on. Otherwise, they will go away. We might have so many reasons to go away. But when we learn to be tolerant, we can continue, we can go on. Like in the early days, I remember we had so many problems sometimes. Satchidananda Maharaj and Krishna Chaitanya Maharaj, I remember when we went on Harinam. Life was quite simple at that time, I remember. We in Germany, we at the very beginning we didn't have any German books. Then we had no books. Then what to do the whole day? We went out 6 hours, 7 hours every day chanting Harinam. Every day. And I remember we went to the red light district in Hamburg. You know what it is. So we thought because we have to give the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy to the most fallen, so we went there. And then on a regular basis, some drunkard showed up and smashed a full beer bottle on the head of the devotee. So we wrote a letter, I remember, to Srila Prabhupada, well, what shall we do? You know, we go on Harinam and then the people, they're just attacking, what shall we do? The Prabhupada wrote back, just go to another place. Oh, we saw the light. So we went to another place. But the point is, there might be so many difficulties as devotees practicing Krishna consciousness, sometimes even from our own relatives. The parents, they might not appreciate child is practicing Krishna consciousness. They should rather go to finished universities, which we in any case recommend anyway. Finish your studies, education, and then join. Not join before, drop out of university and just stop everything. And actually the parents are, they're worried. It can be avoided, just finish education, then join. And no problems. Parents will be very happy. My doctor child became a devotee. They don't mind. So even Lord Krishna, he was harassed by the asuras. There was his maternal uncle, his mother's brother, very keenly related. Still he wanted to kill Krishna. The 8th child of his sister will kill Kamsa. That was the prediction. And Lord Krishna reciprocates. Oh, you want to kill me? Then I will kill you. That's Lord Krishna's reciprocation. Actually, one time I remember, I was thinking, what is the actual purpose of that we have to die? Why did Krishna create this? We could just, in our physical body, just go on forever and try to enjoy material existence. But then I got this realization that Krishna simply reciprocates. Because here in this material world, the asuric mentality is to kill God. He doesn't exist. Is it not? That practically means trying to kill God. By making that statement, he doesn't exist. I want to kill him. He should not exist. He doesn't exist, he should not exist, he will not exist. Then Krishna reciprocates. You want to kill me? I reciprocate. Accordingly, then I will kill you. And if we don't like that, no, I don't want to be killed, then we should also not try to kill Krishna. Just glorify him in a non-envious way, that he is eternally, not for some time, eternally the supreme controller. And he controls everything, everything emanates from him, everything depends on him. There's non-envy. So we are willing to glorify Krishna in this way. He reciprocates. And then Lord Krishna, he will glorify his devotee. He will give him all facilities of eternal life. Eternal life in the spiritual world. Krishna's reciprocation. So I will end with a nice story related to when Hiranyakashipu, he became so desperate to kill his own son because he was a devotee. But he tried so many things. But at one point he realized Prahlad's power, incredible power. And then he thought, now let me try the last thing. And he ordered his associates to bind Prahlad with a very special snake rope. I'm just trying to... Yeah, with a snake rope. And during the night, during his sleep, then take him to the ocean and throw him in the ocean, and then that's it. Hiranyakashipu thought. So I will read that particular story. But first of all, of course, Hiranyakashipu severely chastised Chanda and Amarka, which we listened to her yesterday so nicely, for teaching his son the prayer to Lord Vishnu. Despite the teacher's plea for innocence, he instructed his son to give up the company of such teachers. Yeah, this is nice. A man is known by whom he associates with. Even a gem starts stinging.
And our temple, Simhachalam, here, is the, you could say, new Simhachalam. And in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, this temple in India is referred to as Jiyada Narasimha Kshetra. And originally we called, here, Simhachalam, we called it Nava Jiyada Narasimha Kshetra, which is kind of a mouthful.
It is.
And so after some time it was decided that we simplify and refer to it as Simhachalam. When I visited Jiyada Narasimha Kshetra some years ago, no one used that name. They only referred to it as Simhachalam. So I thought, well, we could also be Simhachalam.
You made a compromise.
Yeah.
I was thinking to even add Varaha to it.
Yeah. That will be the next deity installation.
2 tons instead of 1 ton.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts, realizations, questions? Yeah.
Hare Krishna, I wanted to ask, when Prahlad Maharaj was in the womb and Narada was explaining all of this to his mother, somehow she forgot all of these instructions, but Prahlad Maharaj did not, and it changed him, transformed him in such a magnificent way. So I was wondering, is there any explanation why? Because she was not offensive towards Narada, the mother, you know, why did she not receive the same benefits of these instructions? Is there anything that we can learn from this?
We have to ask our Krishna Chaitanya Maharaj that question. Yeah.
This is called stumping the Swami.
No, it is showing respects to the seniors.
Well, my suggestion yesterday was that his mother, Kayadu, was very much preoccupied in becoming a mother. And I understand from what I've heard from mothers, it's quite an ordeal having a child. It's a profound transformation of the body. It's one body creating another body. So that's quite intense.
Whole process of creation.
we males can't appreciate that. But it would be interesting. I think it is an interesting question. And you made a good point that she was not offensive to Narada. And so somehow she must have been benefited. One way of understanding it would be, well, in a sense, she remembered everything through Prahlad, and Prahlad was her son, and therefore all benefit, she received all benefit because her son is none other than Prahlad, who reached perfection. Okay, that was my try. Maharaj?
Let me see, are you thinking, why is a woman considered to be less intelligent? Is that behind the question?
No, I was thinking, what is the fault that I should avoid, that I stand in front of qualified Vaishnavas and not receive the benefits of their instruction.
Good. No, I just, we have to deal with what it is. In the Bhagavatam,
there are qualities mentioned for retaining instructions. It is in relationship to the young boy, Narada Muni, who served the four Bhaktivedantas. And it is said they were respectful. He was respectful. He was very serious, and he was not interested in worldly things. So if you want to have full utilization of spiritual instructions, then we have to try to emulate or follow these qualities which Narada Muni had. He was a small child, and he was also not super attentive as a child, or let us say super children are children, but he had these qualities. He was respectful. He was not after, how do you say, after play. He was not, and he was extremely sincere. And then all the knowledge came. While I have the microphone, what? And he served. The serving is very good. Bhaktivaibhava Maharaj, is it all right? But only, thank you so much. I have a very practical question.
You mentioned my name. You wanted to...
Yeah, ask you a question, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. It is a sincere question, although it may sound humorous. Maharaj, I'm always so tired in the morning. What should I do? It's really...
Is that indirectly related to me? Do I look tired?
No. You are such an... I remember when we traveled, you were always getting up so early. Have you ever... das ist wirklich nicht eine blöde Frage, also ich meine es wirklich. What can we do to use Brahma Muhurta? Any suggestions and so on? I used today, and that's why I'm so tired. I feel like give me a coffin,
Coffin or a coffee. Of course, one solution we recommend is go earlier to bed. Devotees have a tendency to stay 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12. And anyway, I make it to Mangalati, no problem. Then they go and they feel so tired. Jayaveda Swami, I think once I contacted you, I have a lack of problem sleeping, and you also gave me some solution. Yes, it's a sincere question, but the attempt to conquer sleep, that it also has to be sincere. Really has to try hard, go earlier to bed. I have a problem with that. When I go to bed at 9 o'clock, I wake up at 11 o'clock, and sleep is over. It's my problem. So I think individually we just have to find our own solution. What works for me might not work for someone else. I also feel tired, but I fake. I'm not tired. I'm quite good at faking. And then, of course, lack of oxygen. There's another problem in our temple rooms. Packed with devotees. All the windows are closed. the heaters are on, and of course we begin to struggle. I think that's a fair answer. Individually we have to find what works for me, that I'm alert, awake, fresh, doing the Mangalarti, and also doing the class. I'm awake, conscious, concentrated. We have to find our own schedule, how to do it. Take inspiration from Srila Prabhupada, of course. That's our prime example. Externally, sometimes I remember, Prabhupada also looked, Jayaveda Maharshi, sometimes he looked tired, no? Sometimes. But still, he went through the program, he gave his class. Yeah. Yes, Lord.
This story of the Srimad Prahlad Maharaj is a story of the Asuras versus the devotees. So, how do you think our attempt as devotees is impacting the demons in modern society? Do you think there's any hope or signs that we'll overcome the demons, or Srimad will appear?
Well, I think you know best the answer. You are out there every day. You know what impact it has on the demonic society, Asuric society. Sometimes I'm also wondering, we have 2 more minutes. Sometimes I'm also wondering that it is described that there will be in the Kali Yuga, the 10,000 period, of the golden age. It's supposed to have started with the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's. Some asuras. Supposed to have started with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance to the golden. And there's some wandering, looking out into the world, into the society. Where's the manifestation of the golden age, Satyuga, for 10,000 years? But it might begin to manifest and continue to manifest, not exactly the way we might expect. They might not, people in general might not wear beadbacks and tilaks. Maybe that's our concept of the golden age. But in consciousness, the consciousness begins to change. I think that's a fact. Now, how many vegetarians we have nowadays? Unbelievable. In the early 60s, to be a vegetarian, you were considered to be strange. Vegetarian. Now it's quite common. And of course, Srila Prabhupada's books, that's the main consideration, is spreading. Often I lament over the amount of response we actually are getting. We distribute millions of books. What's the actual feedback? Wondering. But many things we cannot see, what goes on in people's consciousness when they read just a few lines of Srila Prabhupada's books. We cannot see it. They're at home, sitting at home, reading a little bit, and something happens in their consciousness, in their mind, which we cannot see. And if we count all those people who begin to become transformed by reading Srila Prabhupada's books, seeing the devotees. I remember once I was walking, we were on Harinam, stopping at the traffic light that we could cross, and then there was one couple next to me, not the Buddhist. And then I overheard her telling, I think her husband, they look like married, married couple, you know, yesterday I was dreaming about these people. So we don't know what goes on in this society. How Krishna consciousness affects the consciousness of hundreds and thousands and millions of people we cannot see. But Srila Prabhupada, he had full faith in the distribution of his books. He said that's the main methodology to spread Krishna consciousness, just to distribute his books. And then of course, Harinam, going out every day, spreading the holy name. The time is over. Thank you very much for your patience. Srila Prabhupada ki Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna devotees. So now we will have a very special video presentation in the temple room. We will have the video by Vishwambar Gurvani on the Narasimha Kavacha, and straight after that we will have the Sandish outfit darshan. So you can all proceed to the temple room and we'll see this happen one after the other.